Hello my dudes and welcome back to Minecolonies Byzantine. Last episode we got the barracks built. It's up to level 3. That's really good news, isn't it, Rogue?
Wonderful.
Oh yeah, and that means we've unlocked combat research to get us able to build the combat academy and the archery range. So let's jump in and see if we can start building the military district. So here we go, I'm joined by Lynn Cannon over here at the university. How's it going? She looks more like a nun. Or like some kind of priest than a researcher. Oh man, who's this warrior of legend? McGinger the Mahogany. So anyway, research-wise, we've done a few researches now. We ticked off some of the things in combat. We can learn quick draw if we want. Yeah, let's queue that up, why not? So we've done improved swords and we've done improved bows, and both of those unlock the next buildings we're going to be building. But we need to prepare for the next episode. So we talked about getting the concrete mixer's hut, but it's locked behind some more research. To get the concrete mixer's hut, we need to learn pave the road, and to do that we need a crusher only at level 1, but we still need to do that, so a crusher has to be built. Also, there's some really tasty research over here in, Deep Pockets. 9 more inventory slots is going to be really huge for our builders, but it does mean we need a library at least level 4. So building a crusher is pretty high on our list, but the most important thing this episode is getting those new combat training academies built. Now also there's a couple of things I want to do. I want to check if I've got any waystones in here. Feel like I've used them all. Oh no, we got one, so we can splash this around somewhere important. Now riddle me this, Batman, what does the Combat Academy require to be built? Okay, so, 3 iron swords, so we can make some iron swords and get that sorted. Get it? Sorted? Yeah, I'll see myself out. There we go, and I imagine the same is going to be true for bows. We're going to need just 3 bows. So we'll see if we can make 3 of those and see if that's what the archery range needs. So bam-a-lam, the Combat Academy boom, there we go, and the archery range... yeah, we guessed it. It's 3 bows. So that's the 2 buildings we're going to build this episode. Let's go and see if we can find a nice spot for them. So here we are at the Garden of Hoobies. Now I'm going to use the waystone over here in the military district because, yeah, we need to mark off this new area. I'm not sure how often we're really going to have to come back to the military district because as districts go, it kind of manages itself. Guards come over here, they patrol, they do their training, but there's no real recipes per se for these buildings, so there's no real reason to come back that often. Anyway, I'm pretty excited for this. Let's see what these 2 new buildings look like. Now, number 1 in military, we're going to go with the Combat Academy first, because swords before bows is kind of like my mantra. I used to play Hunter a lot, unlike ranged classes in MMOs, but these days I kind of prefer to swing a sword. Okay, oh right, yeah, wrong style pack. Wait a minute, what's this? Military? Barracks? Where are the combat academies? This can't be right. So, somewhat confusing is the fact that there are no archery ranges or combat academies in the military section. You've got a barracks here. No. Siege works. Okay. Warship. Droman. Tower small, tower big. But there are no combat academies or archery ranges. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these on our bar, right-click on them, and that should show us which templates have these blocks in. So the Combat Academy first, boom. And this will show us every single style that has a Combat Academy. It should be every single one of them. And we've got to find out where the Byzantine one is. Ah, right. So it looks like the Byzantine pack puts the Combat Academy in the barracks. Okay, very interesting, but it's important to remember this is barracks, not alt barracks. So this barracks here does not have either a combat academy. In fact, interestingly, the archery range is also only in the barracks and the siege works. So these don't have standalone buildings in Byzantine, they're part of something bigger. And what that means is we're going to have to make another barracks, but this time the alternative style. So if the other barracks has the combat academy and the archery range, what does this one have? Now I remember this building needed a blacksmith to get upgraded, so somewhere in here is a blacksmith. Let's go and see if we can find that and get that built. Maybe it's around back. Oh, hello, what's this? Oh, a bit of a dungeon. Oh no. Oh no. What happened to this dude? I guess he was left too long without food. Well, we'll just close the door and leave him to his woes. Anyway, Aha, here we go, the blacksmith's hut. So we can get this built. And because it's a building that's part of another building, it should have very low requirements. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, a magma block, but not a problem. Good to go. So we'll get Ambria on this while we're doing things. But anyway, it's time to head home and build ourselves a barracks. Now honestly, barracks are really just a great way for you to keep bolstering your troops, so building 2 barracks isn't such a bad idea. In fact, it's a pretty good one. So where are we going to put the military district? Well, for now, we're just going to plonk this waystone right in the middle of this area, because once we've done the decorations, we can think about a more permanent place. But for now, military. But of course, as always, if you have any ideas for a military district name, let me know in the comment section, and the one with the most votes is what we're going to call the military district. So with the build tool in hand, let's find the perfect spot for this. Now actually, this military district is going to be way too big for us. It's going to be way bigger than we're ever going to need. So maybe there is something else we can do that's really impressive with this area. Honestly, maybe an expansion of the garden? I don't know. Oh wait, wow, oh man, that was quick. Good job, Ambriel. Now we'll find the front of this building. Oh my god, it's a real beast. Well, let's get up here and take a look from above. Oh man, yeah, bird's eye views are great for designing your colony, and I reckon over here is probably the perfect place. Now, do we want it right next to the gate? I think so, because it's kind of nice in like a fantasy setting. For the first thing you do when you come into a city is, oh my god, it's the police, aka the guards, because back then guards did both jobs. So let's come over to the back here and see if we can line this bad boy up. Oh yeah, this is going to look pretty good. And actually, this is way too close to the gate, so we're going to move it along. Okay, yeah, amazing. Right, so this is the right position. Now let's see what it's going to look like when we level it up. So levels 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, it's a big building, and 5. Not much changes, it's only really the materials that get swapped out. Well, okay, perfect. So we'll go to level 1, and we'll queue this up to be built. Boom. Now who are we going to... oh my god. How are we going to get to that? Oh man, what's with these buildings flying high in the sky? Well, it's nerd poll time, so here we go. And build options. Now, Ambriel is finished with the barracks, and last episode we kind of built a cheeky railway tunnel. See that bad boy right there? Well, that goes all the way through the mountain and connects up next to the church. I think the tunnel is so effective that what I might do is dig out an actual real tunnel and decorate it like a proper kind of avenue for the builders to go down. Because at the moment it's just a filthy little dirt hole. Amazing stuff. So she's going to come over, prepare the land, probably dig up this tree, but we can help her with that because trees are a nightmare for builders. Likewise, this hay bale can go. Other than that though, this is a very clear and open space for her to work with. But like I said, there's another building that we want to get before we can move forwards with our industrial zone, and that is going to be the Crusher. Oh yeah, shut up Wesley. So the Crusher's hut, and this actually should be pretty simple build. If I remember rightly as well, the last one we looked at, the medieval Crusher, was a really good looking building. Oh, we need more wood. Let's get some wood. These days I have a lot of trouble getting wood. There we go, the Crusher. Bam, man, we've got like a real plethora of buildings to build. The Combat Academy, the Crusher, and the Archery. Loads more jobs in the colony, honestly. And of course the question is, where are we going to put the Crusher's hut? Well, also, what about another warehouse? We could actually build another warehouse. That makes this episode probably one of the most kind of productive building episodes we'll ever do. But you know what, I think it's well worth it. Always good to queue up some builds. The warehouse. Now there's also actually another style of warehouse that we haven't actually seen yet. We built the one that looks a bit like a lighthouse on the edge of the colony, but we haven't really put down the other style. And the reason why I'm building a warehouse now is because we really do need another warehouse, and over here is where we kind of loosely penciled to put it in. And we can't really do the Crusher's hut until we know the warehouse will fit here okay. Warehouse, oh my god, whoa. Wait, there are 3 warehouses. There's a plaza market. Oh, whoa, this looks really cool. So this is like a bit more of a discreet warehouse that you can plonk anywhere you like. Oh man, and you know what? This actually kind of fits the idea of a docks pretty well, but it is also really huge. Look at the size of this thing. Maybe the other warehouse is smaller. Let's take a look. So we've done the dock house, done the plaza market now. Actually, what does the plaza market look like through the levels? Oh yeah, very nice. This is a very fancy warehouse. I like this a lot. Oh man, this is a really good looking warehouse. What about the regular warehouse? Oh no, bad news again. No, wait, hang on a sec. This actually does fit. Oh my god. And I feel like this building's going to get really impressive as it goes up in the levels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh wow, okay. So yeah, this definitely is not the front, because look at this. This is just a sheer wall now. I think this is the front, but the problem is it's not really a proper front, because it's just basically big warehouses. Okay. And there we go. This looks like the perfect spot. It makes the front door over here, facing the dyer's hut, and if we're lucky we can put like a garden or like some cranes, some carts, something decorative maybe here. We'll have to wait and see. But at level 1 this is the perfect spot for the warehouse. Now with that in mind, let's see if we can fit the crusher's hut somewhere. So I'm used to the crusher's hut being actually quite small. It's a masonry crusher, level 1. And is this a small build? Oh, it's not really, is it? I mean, it's small-ish, but not as small as I'd like. Oh man, no, there's just no way this is fitting here at all. So I think what we're going to have to do, and this is why it's actually quite lucky that the military district is going to be so small, we can put the crusher's hut up over here. It's not ideal, I'd like everything in the same area, but the crusher's hut is just too big. Also, we're going to have to find a place for the concrete mixer's hut as well, so putting these two together, well, it kind of makes sense. Now we are actually very close to the boundary here, but I think maybe the crusher's hut can fit here. Yeah, but you know what? I've got a bit of an idea here. What we're going to do is we're going to raise the crusher's hut, so the tunnel that goes through the mountain is going to come underneath the crusher's hut and then hook up to like a bit of a plaza out here. We can raise this up now. First, we'll look at levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wow, impressive. Very impressive. But yeah, the idea is we're loosely going to just raise this up and have the tunnel go underneath. Yeah, I think this will look really good. So yeah, now it's level with the barracks. We'll go to level 1, and I reckon this is the perfect place for it. Also, building high in the sky means the builder isn't going to have to do any clearance work, which is great for us. Now we need to assign some builders, so we've got 3 new buildings to do. The barracks over here, the warehouse down there that we'll do in a bit, and the crusher's hut up here next to the barracks. Well, okay, we have a goal. Now let's see what the building materials are like for this build. And it's nothing too spicy. Some granite, some racks, cobblestone, a few hay bales, some polished andesite. Oh man, it's nothing we can't handle. Molly Moo, you're on the job. So let's see if we can get the materials to these guys and start them rolling. We're going to have to get the barracks over here up to level 3, because that's when we get the combat academy and the archery range. And we're going to see if we can get the crusher up to maybe level 2, because it only needs to be level 1 for the research we need, and level 2 just looks a bit nicer. So here we go, another big build, and it's always good to do a time-lapse build when the 2 buildings are near to each other, because you can kind of get them both in the camera frame. However, it's always the case that one goes up much quicker than the other, and today that is the crusher's hut. It's a little bit smaller, so it's understandable, and there's less to clear out because it's kind of floating in the air. But as you can see, before even the worker has cleared out the area for the combat academy and barracks, our crusher is well on its way. Look at this giant dirt platform in the sky. Now it looks terrible right now, but bear with me and trust me, we're going to use retaining walls to make sure this looks okay. But yeah, like I said, the problem with the combat academy and the barracks on the left is that even though it's part of the wall, it doesn't quite match exactly the walls that we have there at the moment. So the builder has to go up and down, backwards and forwards with an axe, breaking down most of the wall before they can build the barracks and replace it with the barracks version of the wall. But yeah, oh my god, wow, so while that's happening, it looks like the crusher's hut has almost been completely built. Just a few finishing touches here and there on this, I think. Yeah, the gravel, the sand. Oh, come on. More to do? Yeah, okay, now apparently there is more to do. So I think blocks that can fall, like sand and gravel, always go down last. But there we go. The Crusher's Hut level 1. Amazing. And yeah, it's still slow progress over here at the barracks. Man, the builder hasn't even finished digging out the area, preparing to get the build started. It's a big build, but you know what? It's worth it, and it's essential. This barracks has the combat academy and the archery range. It's the only building, apart from the shrine, I believe, which is a giant coliseum and a little bit outside of our skill set right now, but it's the only realistic building that we can put down that has a combat academy and an archery range. And those two really are essential for when you start getting lots of raids, lots of dudes, and you have to replace your guards. We're not going to have to replace our guards that often, especially now that we've researched how to make them run away from combat when they're on low health. But still, accidents happen, even without a raid. Could be a creeper, could be a skeleton, could just, I don't know, fall into lava. That happens too. Rest in peace, Nikki Braven. But yeah, anyway, the cobblestone is going down and progress is being made, but it's painfully slow. Look at this. The builder is coming backwards and forwards and putting down maybe 10 blocks before going home and grabbing some more bits and bobs. And this is another quirk of Minecolonies. One of the things that I would fix about builders is how sometimes, yeah, they get into this weird loop of only filling up their inventory with 5 or 6 blocks, coming back and then using those. I think the problem is because they initially try to fill their backpack with all the things they'll need, but some of those things go down much later. So usually when a building has lots of different blocks, like this build has, I can see fences, racks, beds, walls, hay bales, when they have all kinds of different types of block, it really does slow up progress. If this build was made exclusively out of cobblestone, wood, logs, and fences, this would be a very quick build indeed. But also, yeah, it doesn't help that the building is pretty frickin' huge. So, you know what, while that's going up, we thought we'd try and get the crusher on the left here up to level 2. Because it's something we want to do anyway, it's going to give us, I don't know, well, actually no, I don't think there's much reason to do this because the crusher doesn't have any recipes. It's always a good thing to get buildings up in the levels, if only because they look much nicer at higher level. They will perform better in some kind of way, but I'm not sure what that means for the Crusher's Hut. Maybe they crush things quicker? Maybe they can crush more things at different levels. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out when we look at it. But yeah, there we go. The Crusher's Hut now at level 2, looking much superior. Of course, we'll have to fix that dirt. But again, Ambriel is on a bit of a go-slow, so you know what? I think maybe it's time to pause this and do something else around the colony. Okay, so we've had to press pause on the time-lapse because Ambriel is taking so long to get this barracks done. And when you look at it, she's got to go all the way from over here, looks like she's stuck in the builder's hut right now, all the way from there over to here. Now she does use that new rail that we've put in to zip through the mountain, but even so, she's doing it bit by bit and taking forever to build this building. And I think it's partly because she has to kind of rebuild the wall as well. All of these blocks from the wall that are missing are going to have to be replaced with something. While she's doing that in the background, we're going to hop on over here and see if we can recruit a crusher. Now, we're going to have to go over to the tavern first, I reckon, see if there's any prime candidates for crushing. So here we go, Jensen Hoobies. Well, we've already got too many Hoobies. Ooh, Rogue Hoobies. We haven't got any Rogues. And we do have baked potatoes. There's 64 there, plus the 79 on me. Boom, we've got Rogue Hoobies. I don't know if he's going to be a good crusher, but he's certainly a welcome addition to the crew. Congratulations, my dude. Welcome to the team. Now, who else is around here looking for some square names? Yeah, don't get too comfortable as an archer rogue, because you might be something else. Who's that over there? Philly Offbeat. Whoa, there's a name I haven't seen before. Oh, no, Enchanted Books. Well, you know what? I like the name Philly Beat, so I might see if I can go and scrounge up some Enchanted Books to give to old Philly.
He'll be the first dude we've recruited with enchanted books, but sometimes it's worth it, especially for a fancy name like that. Reminds me of a Philly cheese steak. Delicious. Here we go. So I reckon there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 enchanted books here. So we're going to grab them all. Now, where did you go, Philly? There he is. Philly off beat.
Fine morning, isn't it?
Oops, more baked potatoes, but that's okay. He wants enchanted books. Boom. Now, it doesn't let you pick which enchanted books, so it's just sucked up a whole bunch and left us with withering. Okay, fine. Aha, Aurora Lindseth. I'm not sure if we have an Aurora. We might do. Ooh, emeralds. Do I have any spare? Oh yeah, 31. Amazing. And what else are we really going to use them for? Actually, I shouldn't say that because emeralds are really useful as ingredients for doing research. Oh, Jake Milk Drinker. Love a milk drinker. 43 gold. Can we afford that? Yes, we can. Boom, get on in here, my dude. Oh, you son of a gun. He ran off with like 50 gold. Oh, what a piece of trash. Jade, you milk drinking mother trucker. I'm going to find you. And I'm going to put you to the sword. Oh, man. That's a lot of gold to run off with. Oh. Do you know, there's only a 2% chance he'll do that as well. Like a 1 in 50 chance. And so far, I think we've had like 3 dudes run off. So, I mean, we're not beating the odds on that one. Oh, look at that. Gen Godzilla absolutely smashed the need for string when they make a bow. And that's another cool thing about the buildings that have crafters. As they're crafting stuff, the more they do it, the better they'll get at those recipes, and they'll reduce the mats required, which is why it is actually better to use crafters rather than build things yourself, because eventually things do become pretty cheap. Let's see if we can find, here it is, the crusher block, and who's going to be good for this? Who do we like? So there was Aurora. Where are you? Aurora Lindseth. Whoa! Aurora Lindseth, 21 stamina and 26 strength. Perfect for a crusher. Get on in here, Aurora. And let's see what a crusher looks like. Oh yeah, heavy duty. Love it. Love the gloves. Are you ready to crush? So how does a crusher work? Well, you have custom recipes here. I don't think you teach it any recipes at all. This building basically just does stuff in the background. But what it will do is it will take gravel and turn it into sand. It will take cobblestone and turn it into gravel, crush bone blocks into bone, sand into clay, bone into bone meal, and clay into clay balls. And it'll do this as and when your colony needs it. Basically, if you've got a warehouse full of gravel, but your colony needs sand for some glass, the glass blower will say, hey, I need some sand. Can you make me some, crusher? And the crusher will turn around and say, oh yeah, you know, I can crush that. As they do, in that accent as well. And yeah, that's what'll happen. Oh, look at it, Philly off beat. More like on beat. He's on the beat right now. Bobby on the beat. Guard on patrol. So I'm gonna go and grab a cup of coffee. And when I come back, maybe leave it for an hour or two, hopefully, Ambriel will have finished the barracks, because I can't wait to see what this looks like and get it configured. We need to get dudes in here training ASAP. So here we go. Oh my god. So I watched a movie, had a cup of coffee, had my dinner, and then finally we've got this barracks up from levels 1 to 2 to 3. Now this is really exciting because look, it uses the engineer gate blocks to give it a really cool entrance. Amazing. And you can make those over at the Mechanics Hut, or as we have now, the Siege Works. So let's track down this Combat Academy, and here it is. So the building is 0, so we're going to have to go to build options and get this built. But luckily enough, this is nowhere near as complicated as the other builds, because it's one of those buildings inside another building. The materials are very simple. Now we're going to put Ambriel on this. We're going to trust her with that, and we'll find the archery range. Where's that going to be? Oh, riddle me this. So if the Combat Academy is outside in the middle, or rather inside in the middle, where would they put the archery range? Where is this block? It could be up on the roof, bit of a weird choice, but it might be where it is. But how do we get to the roof? Aha! There it is! Oh my god, after years of searching, it's hidden away over here? Well, we found it eventually. So boom, the archery, this also needs to be level 1. And we're going to get Jensen on this one. So that's a whole lot of buildings. I'm just going to go and grab a cup of coffee because, again, this is going to take some time. So I'll jump back to you guys once the Combat Academy has been built and the archery, and I can show you guys how they work. So at long last, the Combat Academy and the archery range should be built now, and okay, yeah, so it's not much of a Combat Academy, it's a couple of pumpkins. Yeah, it is a bit of a joke, isn't it? It's a couple of pumpkins, and yeah, that's basically what these guys use to train. So our first Academy student is Kenjiro Lifts a Lot. Basically, you come over here to the block itself, and what you're supposed to do is hire dudes that don't have jobs. They will train up the stats that they'll need to become a good knight or a good archer. For the archery range, it works exactly the same, but for archers, and that's basically all they'll do. Their job is to become a better knight. Then, oh yeah, wow, just bash that pumpkin with a shield, Kenjiro, good job. So, what do we do with the recruits? Well, basically, when a guard tower needs a fresh new knight, maybe let's say this guard tower over here, if Philly Offbeat dies, then basically what it will do is it will recruit the next guy, but it will choose squires before it chooses people without jobs. That way you always get the best dudes straight to the front lines. Oh yeah, but right now Philly Offbeat is very much alive and rocking some new armor. Wow, you already got a set of chainmail. Good job. So yeah, and we'll take a look at the Archers Academy because it is pretty cool as well, and it works basically, well no, exactly the same. So we've recruited over here, Haltermain 101, let's get him back on over here, there we go. And so this guy is also trained to be an amazing archer. So when the time comes when we have to call him up to battle and the guard towers need a new archer, he will get sucked into that new role. Amazing. Very simple, but it's going to be essential for swelling out our ranks and building a really powerful army. So there we go, my dudes. It was a long old slog this episode, but as you can see, we've got the barracks now up to level 3, and it's got the Combat Academy and the archery range inside. Very cool. We've also got over here the Crusher. That's right, a guy that can crush gravel into sand, cobblestone into gravel, clay into some other kind of clay. You know, he's a jack of all trades. It's a really vital part of the colony, but more than that, it's required for a research. And I'm also going to see if I can get the church upgraded to level 3, because that has some schools and maybe a library in there as well. Also, I'll see if I can get the library and schools inside the university up, because that's holding us back on the research that's going to get us bigger backpacks for our dudes. So a massive thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Consider becoming a Patreon member or a YouTube member. And I will see you next time, my dudes. Take care.